What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcast, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you on a wonderful Thursday afternoon. A little surprising. We've had to do a couple Thursdays in a row. We've been very busy, people. It's not easy being a pimp in these streets. Not that I would know from experience. Don't look into it. But what I can tell you is, very happy to have you joining us. This is a collaboration between myself, the Grappling Hour, and our good friend Tim Freeman of Inside BJJ. And Tim, you are looking quite nice over on the other side of the world. How are you feeling today, sir?
I'm doing great, Raf. It's great to be here. We got a beautiful day out here in Nashville. The humidity has taken a break for a few days, and I'm quite enjoying it. As an Italian man, I'm enjoying the dry weather very much. Otherwise, I'm walking around like a sweaty meatball. It's great to see you, man. I can't wait to catch up on Subversive. Lots of news in the jiu-jitsu world. Got some events going on tonight, actually, and there were some big announcements we didn't get a chance to get around to yet that I think we'll get some time in today, man.
We have a lot to talk about, and I think it's important that people know I appreciate everybody who tuned in to Subversive. Thank you so much for supporting the show, our athletes, all of the stuff, whether you were there in person or watching the live stream. Thank you so much. And if I can start off, Tim, I just want to take, before we actually get to talking about the event, to just some acknowledgments before we move on. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who tuned in for the live stream of Subversive. We did have some issues. Audio cut in towards the very end. We noticed there were a couple snags. I'm not going to blame people, but I think they know who they are. Accidentally tripped it up. And Tim, when I tell you this, I actually want you back on camera for this. There's definitely a moment where I had the Bill O'Reilly, fuck it, we'll do it live during the broadcast. So I really do feel if you want to hear it before it potentially goes away, you can go check it out at spectationsports.com. Somewhere in the show, I'm sure I say nefarious things, but I was really pissed that people were tripping the wire, because to me, I've just always been taught if it looks like it's a closed off area, maybe don't go in that area. And I don't know if everybody follows that mentality. So a little unfortunate, but we got through it. And in a second, we're going to get to the actual matches, but I wanted to thank my staff, my fellow team over at Subversive. If people have never thrown an event, you will truly never know what it's like to overcome a myriad of obstacles. And I felt like our team did an excellent job, all things considered. And yes, there's going to be some improvements for the next show, but our live audience, lit. And there were some surprises, at least to me. And it's weird because as the producer of the show, you don't expect surprises. So it's a wild event. All I can ever say about what we do is expect chaos. And again, my thanks to all of our athletes. A lot of them put on a spectacular show. No matter what happens production-wise, I always feel comforted that our athletes go out there and really do their best to put on a show. So thank you to everybody who came through and really supported us. It does mean a lot. And I say this now because I realize the uphill battle, but we already have the next Subversive plan. The next Subversive is taking place in Philly. So that is happening in August. More information about that shortly. But before we go any further, why don't we start talking about all the cool and dope stuff that happened. So Tim, let's give the people here a little bit of a recap. What did you take away from this Subversive? What were the results that really screamed out to you, sir?
Couple personal favorites. The Keith Krikorian victory, even though I love Ian, he's an old training partner, old student. It was pretty dope to see how great Keith was feeling with the victory. And I like for so long, Keith has competed so much that sometimes you see the Keith that just looks so concerned with the result, and you're like, oh, I don't want Keith to feel bad. But man, he just looks like he's in a great place. He did fantastic. Steven Martinez, congrats picking up the win over Kamoy Anderson. That's not an easy task. And Martinez is just, dude, he's so yoked, dude. I was like, damn, man. Steven Martinez looks like a He-Man doll. Did really nice against Kamoy Anderson. The one thing I wanted to ask you, and I'm sorry I don't remember the names, was the takedown. It was two females were fighting, and one of the athletes was making a complaint to the ref, I think, about the style of choke that was being used.
Allow
and
me.
She kind of like looked off, and then she got blast doubled, and then it was over. So I was trying to figure out exactly what the situation was with that.
Allow me. That was Dagani, who's been an incredible performer for us. She ended up winning a championship. Now, controversially so, because Jackie Cataline was her opponent. Now, both of them had their other opponents drop out, so they did kind of a catch weight. Here's where the controversy was. Jackie Cataline was winning the strikes and the exchanges there, hands down. But Dagani was putting up more submission attacks. Now, here's where I want to give some advice. One, those combat jiu-jitsu matches are judged by the athletic commission, not by Subversive. We have our refs. They do regular jiu-jitsu matches. And we do have some people who feel a certain way about those. But the first criteria for regular jiu-jitsu matches is submission attempts. Then when you get into combat, some people think, well, strikes matter more, but it is clearly defined in the rules meeting, and not everybody attends the rules meeting, as Noah Chen will contend. So then there are people who feel a certain way about somebody being bloodied and winning. And it is difficult to reconcile. And I would say I understand where everybody is coming from, but I would caution to the athletes, this is why you attend the rules meeting. Because we do have some athletes who do not, or who miss the rules meetings and then wonder why they lost. And part of that might be, hey, those rules are pretty well communicated. But if you miss the rules meeting right beforehand, which are designed to give you a last minute reminder, don't look at the rules as being the reason you didn't win if you didn't show up for those things. So that's what I would say. Having said that, an incredible match, but there were a couple discrepancies throughout the nights. And what I did see was in the comment section, people would be yelling at Subversive, and I was like, guys, I got news for you. That was not us. But having said that, if you look at the way they were judging more by submission attempts, it does beg some questions in terms of, well, how much do strikes matter? And I think that's a logical complaint. But what you find is the people in the comment section are yelling at each other despite not reading the rules or not being aware of that. So there's a lot of stuff that I totally felt roughly about. And, obviously you want somebody to win and get the actual submission, not the decision. And sometimes it just comes down to that. So we had that in a couple cases, and I would be interested to see what happens next in those particular areas. But by and large, if there's ever been a better advertisement for go to the rules meeting, I think it might have been this weekend. I did see a few notes here.
Combat athletes are in. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, bud. I was just gonna say, combat athletes are notorious for not going to the rules meetings. Like they consistently miss rules meetings or only pay attention to the one part where they want to ask a question and then miss everything else, even though they were in the rules meetings. I don't know if we need to make rules meetings memes for these guys or like real quick cartoon videos or something to where they will actually consume it and get it. Maybe give them a little pop quiz. If you don't pass the quiz, then you don't get to compete. But that would definitely be helpful because then they do then there are some sour grapes, and typically they don't go like, oh, it's the commission. They go, oh, it's Subversive. It's that guy RAF. It's his problem.
Oh, they 100% thought it was me. Whenever you think it's me, it's not me. Because I will always tell you full throat if there is something that I'm behind. I'll 100% say that decision was on me. This was me looking out there and saying, that's a rough decision, or I don't know about that one. And if you hear my commentary on some of them, maybe I might have been leaning one way, but I did try to remind people it is close. So I think it is important as you watch these events to keep that in mind. But I also want to do this. I see some notes here from some folks. I want to make sure I'm clear on these things. What is up, Fario? What is up, Joseph Munoz? Guess who's on the RFL card? 3 days notice. Is it you? Because it's not me. I will be commentating those fights. So very excited to see you, Joe. Looking forward to that. That kid's a stud. Love seeing him out there. And I saw earlier from Putazos, Pure Putazos, it said Subversive was sensational. Thank you so much. I want to give a big acknowledgement to Pure Putazos, because if you check out their highlights, they have had some pristine, amazing highlights that have gone on their page, and they just started doing coverage. We were honored to be one of their first things that they have started their coverage with. So Pure Putazos, go check that out. Amazing highlights from our show that really, I think, give you a great vibe. And I love the coloring. So they've done an excellent job with what they've gone. I noticed that. So Tim, why don't you go ahead and do that? I'm going to take a quick second here, and I'm going to go through a couple of these other comments. First and foremost, it said, Subversive was phenomenal. Thank you for the hospitality. Truly a great time. Appreciate that, Egg. It was so nice to see you, brother. Obviously, things happen very fast, so I didn't get to spend as much time with everybody as I truly love to do. But I am glad that I was able to see you for just even the short time that I did. So shout out to Egg, who came out, supported us, was a big help, and, raising some awareness and bringing some people out there. And I will tell you this, Egg. I did see you try to sneak in reminders on things for the PGF while I'm on Subversive channel. It's not quite like this. When I'm on the pay-per-view, I'm not going to do plugs. So just remember that for next time. What's the Philly date? I think it's August 8th. Don't quote me on that. Or the 1st. It's one of those two. I have things lined up on both. Sometimes brain gets a little slow. But one of those two dates. And it said, Keith was great. Travis Thomas was wild. Great show. Beautiful. I mean, they really killed it. And Jared, oh my God, a German suplex. What are we talking about here, people? He killed it. It says, how can you complain about the organization being biased if you, I think it's supposed to say don't go, if you go to the rules meeting? I don't know. Don't worry, though. People in comments still find a way. I think what happens here is everybody takes up for their people. So they come up and they say, that's a robbery. That's a robbery. And I go, I mean, it's rough. It's just the rules. And if there had been a submission finish, we wouldn't have to say it's a robbery, but we have some people who want to make sure they got the backs of their friends. Totally happens. And it says, Wallow, hello, gents. Great to see y'all. Have a great show. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. All right, Tim, you have returned back here. Why don't we just close with this? Thank you to everybody for a great Subversive. I'm going to have more to say, different times, different shows, but I definitely wanted to recap it with Tim, and I'm so glad you were able to catch some of it. And yes, I did go to Tacos El Gordo, and you know who I ran into, Tim?
Who?
Oh, what's up, Mr. Esparza? It's just me. I'm a little guy. I'm the face of UFC BJJ. What's going on?
Oh, no, you did not.
I did.
You ran into Staffhead?
No. I ran into Keith, and no. I don't know that Mikey would even know who I am, honestly. No, Keith was phenomenal. Keith was super fun. We had a chance to catch up and talk trash a little bit, and it was very good. And I got to publicly and personally give him props because we had to go so fast toward the end. Just a little behind the scenes baseball here. I was told the show needed to end at a certain time. I'm very good about knowing those things. I asked multiple times, and for whatever reason, it got bumped up. Just whatever reason. And we had to fly through the last matches, so I didn't get to do interviews. And if there's one thing you know about me, it's that I love the option of being able to do an interview, but not everybody gets an interview. So we treat it like Johnny Carson's couch. You can do stand-up, but you might not always get called over. But especially when I have no time, I wasn't able to give Travis Thomas an interview, Keith Krikorian an interview, get the reaction from Dagani, even talk to Steven Martinez after a very dominant win over Kamoy and ask him if he wanted to say F Texas. But I just felt like we had to rush through it. We had to do what we needed to do, and we got through. So it is what it is. But very happy to spend some time with Keith. So I did tell him, I was like, hey, man, next time we'll do an interview. Maybe here, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, Tim, we've moved on over to PGF 10. This is the part that Egg has been waiting for. So, Tim, what areas do we need to cover, or what has been announced since we have started talking about all things PGF, sir?
Well, there was a pretty big announcement that close to showtime or right before it, and we missed it. But this is PGF Season 10 expanding to 8 teams. So we know they have the Las Vegas Kings, Alabama Twisters, Philly Phenoms, Colorado Wolverines. They announced the St. Louis Outlaws at Season 9, the Carolina Copperheads, the Houston Wranglers, and there's one more team yet to be announced that will join the 8-team league coming up here. The other thing that they have announced is that the season is being planned around 5 weight classes now. So instead of having all of the athletes at the same weight class, you will have a team member that can represent you at each weight class. And it looks like they're going 145, 155, 170, 185, 205. So I think that really changes the complexion of the season when you're dealing with different types of athletes. You don't need to find 20 guys or 28 guys that are all weigh the same. So you might see some different folks in. The other thing that really is going to have an impact on us as well, Raf, is they're not planning 1 show a week. They're planning 2 shows a week. So that's going to be really interesting. I don't know what the nights are planned yet. I don't know anything about it. I don't know where they're going to do it. But definitely has some pretty big implications. They also announced the draft schedule for January 17th. And right now I'm going to give Egg some love. The first open that is coming up, qualifier for the Colorado Wolverines, coming up in July here. So lots of big movement there, man. Still got some time before this shakes out, with the draft being in 2027, opening weeks planned for the first week of March. So there's some time, man, but we got to figure out what we're going to do, Raf. We don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I have no clue. I have heard some good things about what their plans are. So that's very exciting. 2 days is a little bit different. So we'll see how that kind of plays in shortly. But I can tell you the expansion, the growing to a group of gentlemen on a team is pretty dope. But can I just make one little proposition here? If we're just adding weight classes and multiple weight classes for the dudes, and they don't necessarily merge with other weight classes, are we just getting to the point where there's just going to be a whole team of a roster of weight classes? And would it even matter if there was a girls division? Because if they don't compete against each other, you could also have a women's division at some point. So it does beg the question if that is coming at a later date, if it's in consideration. But I do think That's a real possibility here. So what I would say to you is this, just speaking out loud here, Tim, the only reason I'm against the execution of it at its current plan, I don't know that I'd want ladies to have to be at an Airbnb with a dude. So that's still where I feel like, you know what, we're not quite there yet, but we're building rosters. And then it begs the question, how do playoffs work? Because now you have 5 teams. Are we just doing an absolute for the playoffs? Like, there's a lot of stuff I haven't quite figured out yet, but I'm intrigued. I think it's going to open some discussion. And you just saw a big signing with Sean Yadamarco for the Philly Phenoms, and that's an incredible get. And the fact that now he's already reserved, I really feel like this signing season is going to start to get spicy, Tim.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Colorado Wolverines are going to be announcing their new head coach tomorrow.
Wherever
well.
did you find that information?
Yeah, I found that information in the comments. In the comments, my friend. It's definitely going to change some things, man. I'm really stoked for it. And I'm considering this. I want to pitch an idea to you. If they're gonna go 2 days a week, maybe the move for you and I is we stay out there for 3 days. We don't get a hotel. We don't get an Airbnb. We rent one of those van life vans and we just sleep in the damn parking lot for 72 hours. We're just there covering the event, setting up, always on. They'll give us a key to the venue, most likely. I mean, if we're there that much, we pretty much have run of the place. And then, we can
be honest with you, Tim. You mentioned that they'll consider it. What I would say to them is the more likely possibility is we spend the night at the venue and we just wake up kind of like jammies on, coffee. What's up, man? You guys ready? Is it alright PGF time? Okay, well, I just got to put on my suit.
It's just, what do we do the middle
do you guys want to just hang out? I think there's a rules meeting. I'll be right back. Make yourself comfortable.
Right, I just got to hit the head. My body's like clockwork. Every morning I got to hit the restroom, man. I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, man, it's real spicy right now. I need to... Sorry, that's not for everybody. It's for me. That's the personal bathroom.
Y'all don't get the Las Vegas Tribune here? What? All right.
So, Egg, we're going to remedy it this season. Come on over to the Airbnb. We'll feed you steak. I think this is a fair trade, and we'll do some kind of interview or something there. We'll figure that out. I don't know if it's an official segment like RAF Visits, but I did notice I want to see a little bit more of that campfire and the power of it. And I don't know if that gets televised because it felt like it was untelevised and it really brought you guys together. We'll talk. Lots to go over in a short amount of time. Because even though it seems like it's far away, before you know it, the PGF season will be upon us. But we're going to move on now. Tim, we're going to move over to RAF 9. I saw a big announcement for RAF 9. What can you tell us about that, sir?
Pretty great event. Every show, they're starting to step it up a little more and a little more. They opened the event with Armin Sarukian against the influencer wrestler they call Muggsy. They led the show with that. Sarukian made short work of him, but it was an entertaining match. And, look, Muggsy's not bad. He's not world-class elite, but he's not bad. Like, he stays offensive. So that was a nice match to kind of start the day off. And then as it moved forward, we saw some pretty well-known names. We got to see Frankie Edgar take on the it just dropped out of my head. Let me switch up to Colby Covington and Chris Weidman, and then I'll get Edgar fought Marab. Sorry, man. I was like, wait, it wasn't Marab. Yeah, it was Marab. And Edgar didn't look terrible, but you could just see the age factor and the high. Like, Frankie Edgar's got a lot of MMA miles on him. Like, he's a high performance machine that has high miles. So good on him getting out there. And he said for him, like the biggest part of the whole event was getting to do this in front of his kids. His kids have never seen him wrestle, so he wanted to get out there and put a singlet on and wrestle in front of his kids. So good on him. Colby Covington took on Chris Weidman, a markedly larger Chris Weidman. Like he's way bigger than Colby Covington, and Covington out wrestled him and did a nice job at it. Took home the victory. The finals featured Gable Stevenson, and he was going up against Antonov. And Stevenson won the matchup, but it was really due to injury. So his opponent, had just had surgery last year, actually, on his right shoulder. And Stevenson did like a shoulder snap with an inside tie, just one of these, like, and yanked it. And he popped it hard enough that you saw his opponent's arm go out, and you just kind of saw the shoulder just like dislocate. Now, his opponent tried to finish the match. There was 5 seconds left in the round. So he kind of squirted around that round. He went back to the corner. Doctor came to check him out. And he's doing one of those things where, like, he's babying his arm, but he's trying to look like he's not babying his arm. But you could tell, like, oh, his arm is hurt. Like, he doesn't want anyone to touch that arm. He answers the bell. He attempts to one-hand wrestle. And as soon as Gable got behind him and got a grip around his waist, his opponent was like, nah. And he tapped. It's like, we're done now. So Stevenson takes home the win. Stevenson said it was just another day for him. What wasn't even that big of a deal, but he did say he still wants to compete in the Olympics in 2028. He's not sure where his UFC career will be at that point, but it's definitely something that is in the mix for him. So yeah, man, I'm impressed with RAF. We announced it last week. They have a new reality show that's going to kick off in July at their Milwaukee event. They're signing big names to their cards. They got Dylan Dennis coming up next event. He's going to be competing, and who can't wait? We want to see him bad. So, but outside of that, man, they're doing a nice job, and I think that they are doing it right. They got some good sponsors when you watch the card. And I think there's something to be learned for the jiu-jitsu community. I think they should pay attention to Real American Freestyle.
Thank you for that, Tim. We do need to forge ahead, but before we do, who did I see Henry Cejudo got paired up with?
Cejudo is
because this is for a future RAF card. I thought he just got a new dance partner. Up.
He did. You know what? I could look it up. We can move to the next one.
We will. It is Marab.
Oh, it's Marab. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the one that got rebooked.
And Sarukian's going to play coach.
So, yeah, Tim, we're going to move ahead to UFC BJJ 9. That is happening tonight. You did preview it. What can we expect from tonight's big extravaganza, sir?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I know that Mason Fowler's on the card. There's some big names. He'll be defending his title. We're going to see Gilbert Burns Dorino make his UFC BJJ debut. On top of that, Nick Rodriguez returns to the card. He's taken on João Nicolite. And he's a heavy favorite in this match. I want to say he's like a minus 1,200 or minus 2,000 or something wild. Fiona Davies is coming back to the card. She's taking on Amanda Bruce. Frank Mir's daughter, Bella, is on the card. She had a very nice debut in UFC BJJ and picked up a win. So it'll be interesting to see how she's doing. And it wouldn't be a UFC BJJ card without a Rocha. So we've got Achilles Rocha. And then there's some PGF veterans on the card. We got Rafael Ferreira and John Chandler on the card tonight. So overall, I think some good matches. I just can't follow, like, where's it going? I never know. Like, I don't know why Mason is fighting Devontae Johnson or why Nick Rodriguez is going up against Zhao. There's no, like, real compelling story behind it or ranking system to even explain it in the least. So that's the only problem with it. I feel like UFC BJ 9 was royally under promoted. I had no idea it was even today until this morning.
So the storyline, if you want to call it that, was Mason Fowler essentially said that Devontae needed to get in shape, and then he did. That's the storyline.
Wow. I mean, isn't
he was like,
that
yeah,
like,
man, I'm calling you out. You better go out there and get in shape. And then he does. And then Mason's like, you're welcome. So when I saw that, I go, you know what? I don't need a storyline. I'm actually good. Just get to it. I really love that the fact that the UFC does a lot of this for UFC BJJ. Here's Mason Fowler. And here you go. This is the guy going up against him. That sounds good. Is this, hey, look, I don't know what it is, but it seems useful. It moves. Look, can other grapplers do that? No, probably. And has a little sand. You hear a little sand in there? Features. Yeah, they seem good. What's that? They lost in 10 seconds? Yikes. Oh, well, on to the next. So I think that's how the UFC machine has been working so far in storylines. Maybe a little bit too much credit, though. Tim, time to move on to our next topic, which is AIRJITS. So it does appear that on a plane this week or so, there was a passenger who got a little bit intense and wanted to essentially hit the emergency exit while in the air when there's not an emergency. And somebody was able to use their jiu-jitsu to calm them down. So, Tim, what about this story struck out to you? And do we know who this gentleman was who helped to calm things down?
Yeah, so there was a passenger. Reports are that his name is Juan Reyes. He was on a flight from San Juan to Chicago, and somewhere mid-flight, he wanted to land this flight or something, right? He got unruly. Tried to make his way towards the cockpit, which we know is a big no-no. He allegedly attacked or choked an off-duty airline employee, maybe somebody who was just flying back home or something like that. And on board, there is a jiu-jitsu black belt, former professional MMA fighter. This is kind of like a jiu-jitsu guy's daytime fantasy. I would imagine doctors kind of like have this little fantasy where they're on a flight and somebody's choking and they got to say, is there a doctor on board? And they got to, oh, I can. So yeah, basically the person's name is Josh Longgood, and he helped subdue the passenger, restrained him. Not sure what the hell's going on. Not a super fan of car jiu-jitsu, equally not a super fan of airplane jiu-jitsu, to be honest. Like if I have to use jiu-jitsu on an airplane, I'm going to be really freaking aggravated because I don't like to fly already, and it's so damn small in there. I'm not looking to like get into some jiu-jitsu match with somebody on an airplane. That would royally piss me off, to be honest with you. But good on Josh. Great that this dude didn't hurt anybody, didn't hurt himself physically, I guess, but ultimately he was handed over to the police, and it's a jiu-jitsu feel-good story. We got one this week, Raf. Hell yeah.
We did it. Yay, us. What I can tell you right now, Tim, is this. Egg put this in the chat, said, while chewing gum, no less. So last week I was pretty good and spot on getting Dana White. I want to see if I can kind of emulate what that dude was doing, because I saw him and it was kind of weird because when he was doing this, he was using a lot of shoulder work because they didn't have a lot of area. So it's just him.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay, bud. Let's not do that, okay? Thanks, bud. So,
okay, bud.
I feel like that's what I heard him say.
Better keep training.
You know what it is? It's do you do this, Tim? Because I find it's a unfortunate compulsive habit of mine. When I tap somebody, you do the pat on them, where I'll be like, they tap, and then you do the, it's good, man. Good job. I know it's not the best, but it's also just, I can't stop doing it. But I think in my head, it's my way of checking that they're okay. But it does not look that way. It 100% looks like, guess you didn't get that one, huh? All right. So something I've had to work on.
It's like when you're the emperor, or I don't know if this maybe that's not the right.
I don't want that,
maybe
Tim,
I am a
please, no.
narcissist, Raph. Maybe that's how I think of myself as the emperor. No, it's like a complimentary bow back to somebody.
That's the way I think it is, but I just understand.
Like a little complimentary tap back. Like
there was a moment where I had all my students line up and I was trying to get them to learn something. I was like, hey, spend time. We're kind of workshopping this position. I see them lollygagging around. And like some of them are either like, does this even work? And I line them all up and I do both offense and defense to them one by one of the move. And they're like, oh, the end of class. I go, did that work? They go, yeah. I go, should you guys spend the time actually workshopping the move? Yeah. Okay. Good class, everybody. Go home. Think about what you did. It was just so funny. It's just like, I don't need them to call me an emperor, so we should probably never say that. Tim Palpatine, absolutely. It does sound like a senator you shouldn't vote for. I want to get into this next one because we have some other happy news in this world. Tim, somebody near and dear to the jiu-jitsu community had a big promotion, but also had a few things to say. So what can you tell us about Mario Lopez and his recent promotion on a very big stage?
So, yeah, AC Slater himself, Mario Lopez of the great Saved by the Bell, was promoted to brown belt this weekend after winning the Master International IBJJF Jiu-Jitsu Championship North America, which sounds a little bit like the television TV title, and I'm not throwing shade. It's just a lot. I haven't heard of that one. I know if it's IBJJF, for sure they're going to have competitors there for sure. After the tournament win, he was a purple belt. I think he's been a purple belt since like 2022. After his win for that division, he was promoted on the podium by Mr. Belding. He gave him his black belt his brown belt. Look, Mario Lopez is 52 years old, man. And he can box. He has hands. He's not the kind of dude that just like dabbles around fighting, but doesn't actually do it. Yes, I know he's an actor, but he's a fairly athletic guy who's been around the fight game for most of his life. Picked up jiu-jitsu a little later in life, and getting after it. I'm kind of hoping we see like a Mario Lopez, Tom Hardy super match, right? Like, where's Metamoris when you need it? Because that would be a great one to line up. And promoted to your brown belt. So congrats, AC Slater. Big promotion there, man.
I want to say this too because he is pretty close in proximity. Mario Lopez has come to a couple open mats that I've been at, and we haven't rolled yet, but incredibly nice to everybody there. I remember when he came to Newground, he took a video. He just wanted to spread the love and say how much he enjoyed being there. I know the owner, who wasn't even there that day, super appreciated that. So Mike Frosto told me, he's like, dude, that's so awesome. How'd that happen? I go, he just took out his phone. He just said, I like this place. Like, that's a good ambassador. And that is somebody who, it's so funny to me because when you talk about somebody who is in our community, he really, really has not asked for any special treatment. He has had hard rounds. I have heard, Mario, apologies. I have heard you're a tough round. The rumor, the word on the street, Mario Lopez does not flow roll. I don't know if that's true, Mario. We have yet to roll, but I welcome an opportunity. I feel it's only a matter of time. And congratulations on your brown belt. I can tell you with good authority, just based on the many, many people that we know, the similar training partners and friends that we have, they have always spoken well of you. So congratulations. And like I said, I look forward to doing that. And I mean, let's be honest. Hold on real quick. Mario, we need you to do a super fight. Stop giving it to IBJJF for free. Let's do something. It doesn't even have to be at my stuff. I get it. You're a busy man. We could figure out something. I'm just saying, I think you're one of those guys. Tim mentioned, Tom Hardy. I think that'd be dope. I don't know the reality of it, but Something like that would be cool. So let's get you in a match somewhere. And if you don't want to, I totally get that. But doesn't hurt to ask. All right, Tim, we got to now get to our low light highlight of the week. What can you tell us about this week's fight of the week, sir?
Great fight. This comes from this is a subgenre. These are restaurant fights, but Mexican restaurant fights, as far as I could tell. Maybe some other Latin American country, but I'm going with Mexican. That's a safe bet here. There's an e-bike that is involved, doesn't appear to be important, but actually is important. And there's some pretty funny stuff happening around with the actors that aren't actually in the fight that you just gotta kind of pay attention to. It's a big treat. I love these kinds of fights, and I love dudes who like to fight who can't fight. It's a beautiful thing.
All right, Tim. Well, you've previewed it well. I think it's time to transition to that scene. Walk us through your interpretation of this fight, sir.
Okay, here we go. We got restaurant guys like, get out of my restaurant. Big punches, big swings. Nate Diaz comes up to the doorway there. He's just watching. He's like, whatever. Neither guy can hit each other. It's just air whiffs. And then dude misses the bike. Shit. And I like how the guy's like, I'm going to throw this bike down. Doesn't throw it down. Eats a kick. And now he goes back in. Other guy tries to hit the bike. Now, dude is like trying to lock him out of the restaurant. But the girl that's should be inside is also outside the restaurant. He kicks him, puts the e-bike back in the way. He can't really move it. And then basically girl runs in and they lock it. Now don't turn it off. The girl holding the door decides to become the star of the fight video. And the cameraman zooms in and she literally makes eye contact back with him. And I'm like, what is going on in this fight video? Because Conchita here basically stole the entire fight that took place.
That's
dude
amazing.
Gets mad. I don't know if you saw it. He chucked the chair. He did the thing like, now that the glass door is in between us, I'm gonna really bark and go nuts. Just a wild fight, dude. Wild stuff.
Hold on. I have to go. That's the look. The look right here is what does me in, because it's her knowing the dude is watching and then saying like, I'm going to double down. Time for more a dead ass. Okay. Allow me.
Now, real quick, before you go, I sent this to the lovely Stella and I said, just your thoughts. That's it. She watched it. She texted back and said, she did that on purpose.
She did.
That was her.
Stella is 100% right. Because you know what it was? As you said, she saw a star-making opportunity and said, what?
Yes.
What? You look at this? You like? No? Okay. All right. Let me walk through it, and then we'll close the proceedings here, Tim. But, woo, you picked a great one today. Let's start off with this. This dude looks like the Brazilian brother of like which IBJJF champion? Like he looks like a distant cousin of Buchecha. So distant Buchecha cousin walks out and kind of takes one to the head. And now look, homegirl, I'm calling her fake ass Shakira, is at the door screaming, no, don't, because that's how like drunk girls yell. They don't yell don't, they yell don't. And there's not even a T. The T is silent. As that happens, they start throwing. And guess what? There's some tripping happening. But it should be noted, this place has both tacos and burritos that they're going to. Because you could see it with the sign there. Not that that's important, but hey, I like to know where to get a good fight and food. Nonetheless, oh God, I can't even laugh at this. Tim, look at the form on this hit, if you can call it that. Watch him load up. Watch. It's up here and it's away. So it's this. Because watch what happens when he does it. It's like a SWAT from like somebody like in first grade who doesn't know how to hit. So now they're both charging up. You're right. Natia shows up and is like, oh shit, did I just walk in on a fever dream? I think I smoked too much. Oh man, that's crazy. Afterwards, people are throwing and missing. There's a slap that happens, and Hawaiian Shirt trips at an inopportune time. Now, I have to give this woman some credit here. Fake ass Shakira is in high heels and is trying to break up this fight. Noble cause. And this dude hits the funniest fall I've ever seen in one of our fights. Because look, he gets up to fall again. He fell the first time. Just watch his storyline progression. He's going to trip here. So watch. He's going to trip. Yikes. Okay. I'm going to get back up 10 times, fall down 10 times. That's it. And takes a mean kick. So what this dude doesn't have for hands, he's definitely got a great soccer kick. And now we're back to really bad hands again, because now he's just peppering them in and really like turning the wrist. This is where I feel bad for Hawaiian Shirt, dude. This is like getting into a hockey jersey territory, and fake ass Shakira comes in and goes, no, please. I swear, no, please. Now, Tim, what you already gave us was great. If it had stopped here, already classic. Nah, it goes on. Now they're fighting with the door, and she makes him trip again. Literally, she pulled him back too much. Now, can I point this out to you? This, in her trying to save him, kind of drags him down. And this is the area that he got kicked in the last time. This was not a good plan. That's his best attribute. And now he's like Sparta kicking him, and he doesn't like the way he's on that bike. They get to the door, and now it's a battle between Nicki Minaj and Shakira. Because Nicki Minaj comes here and goes, like the strongest part of her body, she says, has to be dead ass. So she's going to use dead ass to close down shop. Like, imagine if somebody was trying to block a Trojan horse from entering the castle. She'd be like, no, I got it. I'm helping. They're like, did you just throw your ass at it? It'll stop it. Now, Tim, even the cameraman here, I've never seen this in a fight video ever. You can actually see googly eyes like a cartoon, and that he fell in love. Now, there's never been a less fortunate but possibly on the nose sign and a face that go together here. But I'm just saying, those two things juxtaposed here, not inaccurate. But guess what, Tim? She's playing hard to get, so now she's not even looking at it, but she never lets go of the door with that ass.
No.
And Brian asks a very important question. Will this win the Bully for Street Fight of the Year? You know, time will tell, Brian. Time will tell. Tim, you got to get on out of here. So why don't you go and tell the people? Hold on. Wait, well, go ahead. What's up, Tim?
Can you just run it back just a second? Hold on. Just keep going. This is good. Yeah. It's right near the end. We're going. They're fighting. Okay. At what point? Hold on. Maybe I missed it. At what point? There's an old man who tries to come out.
Oh, right. You're right. Somebody did enter the scene. I forgot.
He tries to hand him his jacket after he's gotten his ass kicked. I think she hypnotized him with her booty. She should have just put her butt up to the door in the beginning and the fight would have stopped, because Hawaiian guy got docile after that.
In this one moment, he thought about throwing the bike at the dude. He is trying to hand him the jacket right here.
While he's getting kicked, he appears in the door with his coat. Hey, ¿quieres camisa? No? Okay, never mind.
Just the fact that the dude's like, I don't want him back in here. Senor, is your coat? Please take coat. We don't want you here no more. Please, you no welcome. Okay, bye. Yeah, Tim, that was immaculate. Well, tell the people where they can find you, sir, as you get on out of here.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Inside BJJ on your favorite social media platform. If you're out in Nashville, come see me at 10th Planet Nashville. And if you're out in Stockton, I'll be out there this weekend. Come see me at 10th Planet Stockton. Raf, great to catch up with you today. I'm glad you enjoyed the fight. It made my heart smile. What a classic ending. Hope you have a good rest of the day, man. Thank you so much.
Tim, great work today as always. I will see you, I'm sure, sooner than later at Spaceballs 2, The Search for More Money. Have a great rest of your day, my man. All right, ladies and gents, that's essentially doing it for us. I'm going to do a quick comb through to make sure I didn't miss anything. Shout out Joseph Munoz, who is going to be on the RFL card. Got added at the last minute. Love seeing that. That kid's really fun to watch. So here's what's happening this weekend. Your boy RAF ESPARZA is going to be commentating and interviewing at RFL. That is happening in Westlake Village. So there's two ways to watch it. The first, buy tickets, see it in person, come enjoy it, say hello to me. I'm going to be making the rounds. I'll be doing commentary. That's the very first time we're doing it. That should give you a hint on the second one here. But super stoked for this organization. They have treated their athletes, myself, many other people incredibly well. RFL happening this Saturday, June 6th. If you can't be there in person, you can order it at Bash Boxing. So if you look up Bash Boxing, you'll see RFL. Check that out. Buy the stream, because then you'll hear me and my good friend John Evans doing commentary for the very first time. So we are glad to be the inaugural commentators for this event. And if you know anything about me and John, you know we kind of crush it. Best dynamic duo in the biz. John, love working with him. The greatest dude. Super nice. Incredibly humble. Best hidden secret here for Los Angeles Jiu-Jitsu at Breakdown Academy. Just saying. So there's that. But let's say you can't do those things. There's also some really cool stuff happening. In Van Nuys this weekend, the Love Movement, a charity that benefits underhoused and underfed individuals, they are putting together a big event. It is like a sparring, exhibition match, and free seminar included with the price of admission. So it's $30 to get in, tickets at the door. We have some grappling super fights that are going to take place there, some kickboxing demonstrations and exhibitions that are going to take place there, and also an MMA exhibition match. So a lot of stuff is on the docket and a couple surprises, I think, and I don't want to ruin them. So go check that out. If you can't be at RFL, you can't be at Love Movement, you are missing out. So RFL with me and Love Movement, the underground sparring and combat club, they're putting on an excellent event, and that is happening in Van Nuys. So hopefully you make it to one of those two events. We're going to have lots to talk about over the weekend for both of them, but that's going to do it here. Just reminders, patreon.com/grappling hour. Go support your boy RAF ESPARZA. Get you an early access pass for $5 a month. You can see my interviews 30 days before anybody else. And for a few extra dollars, see extra bonus content not available anywhere else. You can also like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you have not done so already. I would love it if you like and subscribe. It means a lot. Thank you, Chris Barr. You're a sweetheart. You were missed this week at Subversive. But nonetheless, check that out. You can also get some Grappling Hour merch. If you have not done so already, you can go to rafesparza.com/merch. Support your boy. Every cent you put into the show, whether it is Patreon or the merch, goes directly back into the show, buys equipment, buys cables, buys all of this stuff. And I think I am buying a new external drive because your boy has been doing so much work. I've already filled up my latest external one. And it said, I wish I got a match. I mean, Chris, you got to be more active, brother. You got more work to do, bro. Would have been good to see you, but I know you're out there killing it elsewhere. Just stay on your grind. I'm sure we'll see you sooner than later. And then last but not least, actually, I had some comments here I was supposed to put on with Tim, but I will just put them on without context. Let's just do that real quick. Got to be challenging with the frontier level leg room there. This is for the gentleman who was nice enough to stop the person on the airplane. Thank you for that. There's also another comment here that says, hope people don't expect the same when I wear my BJJ t-shirts in public and bring my blue belt skills. Well, I don't know, man. I think you'd be better than the average citizen. So there is that. Why isn't in the video is actually a 10th Planet guy who has a firm leg lock on him, letting him know if he moves, he will snap it. Oh, what isn't in the video is that there's actually a 10th Planet guy who has a firm leg lock on him, letting him know if he moves, he will snap it. Yeah, probably. Shit's wild. Thank you for your comments here, people. And it said, and Mike John did great. Yeah, man. Mike John Brady. This is a tense match. Super good back and forth. Props to both those gentlemen. As much as I love making fun of Mike John, man, what a great moment to see him with the championship belt. Well deserved and a long time coming. So I was really happy to see him get his due. And I look forward to whatever's next for him, because if there's one thing you know about Mike John, is never done. So I feel like something big will likely come up for him, and we'll obviously be happy to talk trash about him then. But shout out to him. All right, ladies and gents, reminders. Do the like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Check me out, Grappling Hour, Tim Inside BJJ. You can also do us some more solids. Merch, rafesparza.com/merch. Grappling Hour, anywhere, all the major social medias, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is your mom and dad are on. TikTok, we're on that one too. And you can also check us out on Patreon. That is patreon.com/grappling hour. Support your boy. There's going to be a newsletter that I'm going to work on as soon as I'm done here. I know it's a few days late. Your boy's been busy. So it's going to go out tomorrow. And check that out. And some new surprises. Now that we're in between shows, I get to work on some stuff. I'm going to have to talk to my boy Brian about a nice little side project that we've been talking about. And I'm looking forward to getting some more done on that. All right, ladies and gents, that's going to do it for us here at the Bullpen. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.